Welcome in. I had everything all set up and then my paper dropped. I'm sorry about that. Welcome to a little impromptu Tuesday afternoon wine tasting. And this is what we call blind tasting. This is an exercise that we do at sommeliers. Let me. We've done that already. This is great. Yeah, so as Psalms, we blind taste to be able to identify things more accurately when we're out in the wild, out in the real world. Kind of to be able to assess quality. Well, not kind of. That's exactly why we do it. And so, as we're tasting with sales representatives or going off to wineries to taste with producers, we're able to really assess the wines that we're being given, so that we can accurately assess if we want to buy them and bring them in so that they're available for our guests. And so we do this also to have fun. We also do it for exams and in exam settings. Uh, there's a whole different bunch of exams that one of these days, and I should probably actually do it soon, explain what they all are and why you do them or why you would want to, and sort of the different requirements that they all focus on. But the one that I'm currently going down, and the one that I started with, is the Court of Master Sommeliers. And I passed my level 2, which is it's called a certified examination that I passed, and then level 3 is advanced. And so that's what I'm studying for right now. I'm just trying to get my timer ready here. So there's 3 sections to the exam. One of them is theory. So basically, in the court, the way it progresses, level 1, the intro exam, you're given a whole ton of material, and then you go home and study it. And then you go to a 2-day course where they will review it. There's master sommeliers there. And that's also where they teach you their way. We call it deductive tasting. They teach you how to taste. Level 2, after level 1, if you continue on to level 2, they just say, all right, just go learn stuff. Take what you've learned and kind of go down the rabbit hole and more breadth of knowledge. And instead of just the theory examination that level 1 has, level 2 is theory. And then it's service, which is, it's a practical exam where you are given a hypothetical situation and doing service things, pouring wine, etc., and answering questions at the same time. And then finally, it's tasting. And so we practice what you're about to see for this reason, so that we can hopefully pass these exams. In the certified exam, it's 2 white wines and 2 red wines, and you have a grid for each one that you fill out. You fill out all of the things, you come to conclusions, and you give suggestions about what you'd want to pair this with and such. Then advanced, they take the certified exam and just bump it up like 10 times. So theory, service, tasting, all of it is more. And you can't see because my setup was not great and this is very impromptu. But I have all 6 of my wines right here. I have 3 white wines. I have 3 red wines. And in the advanced examination, I believe the time limit is 28 minutes. So 28 minutes to smell, taste, and assess all that there is to know about these wines, and hopefully come to the conclusion that I can figure out what they are, but that's not the ultimate thing either. And then finally, this is the grid. You can't really see what it is, but this is the grid that we go through. We look at it, we smell it, we figure out what the structure is, acid, alcohol, sugar, tannin, body, complexity. How does it smell in the nose? How does it? How does that taste on the palate? And then in the end, you come up with the possible places it can be from, possible grapes, and then the final conclusion. You have to dial in and make a call. I'm not an expert. I am learning. This is fun. It is. I actually get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and I really appreciate the challenge of it. So I'm going to set the timer, and you are going to see me do, in essence, with a microphone on the way, which necessary evil because you have to hear me. You're going to see me run the grid, and we're going to take this flight down, and we'll see how we do. You won't know the results. This is from my friend Chelsea, and I'll send this to her, and she'll give me results back, and then I'll have a results show. But here we go. My time will start when I touch my first glass. Wine number one is a white wine, medium plus yellow color, tearing. Tearing are what some people call the legs and how fast they're moving down the glass. They kind of look in this terrible lighting, medium plus. There's no evidence of gas or sediment in the glass. On the nose. Medium plus intensity of aromas. I'm going to call this developing. When we say developing, that primary aromas are fruit. Developing means that fruit might be going away and other aromas might be coming in. So there is some citrus and tree fruit on here. Lemon, lemon curd, apple, golden apple. The condition of the fruit is it's kind of tart and fresh. It's not all the way ripe to me. Yellow pear. Non-fruit components. There is well, we'll talk about minerality first. There's kind of some slate, limestoney, wet rock. And definitely there are some sort of characteristics that might lead me to talk about oak. There's a little bit of campfire. There's some like licorice. There's some herbaceousness, some fresh tarragon, rosemary. So with all of those things put together, the last thing I'll think about on the nose is that there's oak on this wine. And we'll examine that more on the palate. On the palate. The structure of the wine. The wine is dry. Acidity is a medium plus. Alcohol feels medium. Body is medium. Phenolic bitterness. There is some phenolic bitterness on this wine, and the texture is round. I think confirming what we got on the palate, the condition of the fruit is the same. It's more tart and fresh. It's not super ripe to me. Those same sort of types of fruits, lemons and tree fruit. Citrus and tree fruits. Lemon, lemon, golden apple, yellow pear. A lot of these yellow sorts of fruits. Maybe I'm being biased by the color, but non-fruits. I think there's still some herbaceousness in there. I kind of tarragon and maybe that licorice sort of vibe I was getting. It's not sweet, it's not sugary, but it is sort of that tarragon-esque flavors and aromas. I think this is pretty mineral driven as well. Slate, limestone, chalk. Apologies that I have to spit. Yeah. Wine's in balance. Length of finish is medium plus, complexity is medium plus. Due to a lot of the things I was talking about, the palate, the moderate alcohol, the elevated acidity, as far as my initial conclusion goes, I'm going to call that, say that this is possibly from the old world. Possible countries of origin are France and France. If I were to call a second grape, what would I call? Say France and Spain. Don't get hung up. Possible grape varietals are Chardonnay or Albarino. Possible age range because of the color. I'm going to say that this is 3 to 5 years. Final conclusion is that this is Chardonnay from France. I would say that this is from Chablis. The oak that I was trying to confirm on the palate, I have to go back and I have to say that I don't think it's there. Ah, so mineral driven. All right, I have to make a call on the oak and the palate. I'm going to say that there is oak. This is old barrel. These are used barrels. So my final conclusion, I will sum up that this is Chardonnay from France, from Chablis, and because of my possible my oak presence call, even being old barrel, I'll say this is Premier Cru. This is this is good wine. Um, and vintage, I'm going to say it's 2018. 5 years, color can start showing up like that. Moving on to number two. This is white wine, pale yellow. Tiering is, so I didn't do this on the first one. Secondary colors. My lighting's terrible. There might be a little gold flecks in there. Tiering is medium plus. No evidence of gas or sediment. On the nose, the wine is clean, also developing moderate plus intensity of aroma. I'll call it medium intensity of aroma, also developing. This is, there's fruit. Condition of the fruit is tart and fresh, almost getting more ripe than wine number one, just as far as comparative. But there are also secondary notes that are telling me this might be a developing wine. Man, very similar wines in wine number one. Lots of citrus and tree fruits, lemon lime, more like pith and skin and kind of apple skin, golden apple skin, yellow pear. There's this smoke there that may be indicative of a few things that we'll talk about. Minerality, again, gunflint, limestone, herbal. Very similar wine to wine number one. And I've called something for every box, and I'm just going to move on because I've got to save time. City is medium plus. Alcohol is medium. Body is medium. This one I don't get any phenolic bitterness. And texture, I would call this. It's not as round as the first one. I'd call this more lean. The fruit, all tart and fresh, lemon, lime, apple. It's green apple to lemon apple to golden apple to yellow pear. It's all this tree fruitiness, but it's it's tart and fresh. It's not super ripe fruit. On the palate, I'm not getting the oak indicators that I get on the nose. Minerality is there. There's some tropical fruit in here. And I've been trying to say like mango, guava, pineapple, unripe. So I think all of those things on the palate come out a little more than on the nose. So that's kind of telling me something. And I'm going to say that there's old barrel. I think that there is usage of old oak. So that might have me completely change my wine number one. No, it's not. Something I'm picking up in this one that I didn't was I think there's some green notes. I think there's what we call pyrazines. I think that there's like jalapeno, not jalapeno. It's not spicy. Serrano. And I think those tropical fruits are there. I think citrus, you can pop grapefruit in there. I think that this takes us to a different place. But for my initial conclusion, I'm going to say that we're in the old world again for elevated alcohol, elevated acid, and moderate alcohol. Possible grape varietals. We'll just go with a possible countries of origin: France, Spain, and Austria. Possible grape varietals: Sauvignon Blanc, Albariño, and Gruner Veltliner. Age range. There's something that tells me that this is developing, but I'm going to say I'll say 3 to 5 years. And then my final conclusion is that I'm going to call this Sauvignon Blanc from France, from the Loire Valley, from, did I say Sancerre? I have to get the point. Sancerre, really excellent producer, vintage 2020. Wine number 3. This is white wine. This is going to be more of a straw, pale straw, kind of watery rim. Again, the light here is terrible. I'll call some gold flecks in there. Medium cheering. They're moving a little bit on the nose. There we go. There's a little more youthful intensity of aromas. Fresh and ripe citrus, lemon, lime, grapefruit, mandarin. It's really, really beautifully aromatic. I think there's tree fruits and tropical fruits here as well. Mango, papaya, yellow apple, yellow pear. And the fruit here is all fresh and ripe. Those non-fruits are pyrazinic. So we have 3 wines that have carryover from one to the next, or I'm looking for it, but this one I definitely smell some serrano pepper, some bell pepper skin. There is minerality. There's some limestone, chalk, and in this wine, I will finally say that there is no oak involved. On the wine, on the palate, the wine is dry. Acids medium plus, alcohol is medium, body is medium. There might be some phenolic bitterness on there. I'm not supposed to say might, so I'll say yes. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This texture is lean. The palate, the fruit is fresh and ripe, confirming all of the citrus, tree fruit, and tropical fruits that I mentioned. I will not go through them all. Confirming them all, I think that I get points that way. Lemon, lime, mango, mandarin, yellow apple, yellow pear, papaya, guava. That pyrazinic flavor, it's there. It's green. The minerality is there. It's limestone. There is no oak. The wine is in balance. Like the finish, medium plus. Complexity is medium plus. Where is this from? I think it's ripe enough, fruit-wise. Initial conclusion, because of the ripeness of the fruit, we're going to say that this is from the New World. Possible grape varietals are Sauvignon Blanc. I'll say Pinot Gris, and countries of origin, New Zealand or the U.S., and the age range is 1 to 3 years. Final conclusion is that this is Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough, New Zealand. Quality producer, 2021 vintage. Those are my white wines. I have half the time left. Let's keep going. Red wine number 1 is a medium intensity of, say, ruby. Pretty consistent from the center out to the core. From the core out to the center, sorry. Possible little variety of color on edge of wine on the meniscus. Can't see anything in here, but that's those tearing, I'm going to say, is medium, no evidence of gas or sediment. On the nose. Fruit is fresh and ripe. Youthful intensity of aromas, dominated by fruits of red and black color, cherry, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry, and it's all really pretty. Non-fruits. I think there's some tobacco. There is a bit of floral, some purple flowers and violets. There's some earth. There's a little gravel. Sorry, mineral. There's gravel. Earth. I think that there's some mushrooms, some forest floor. You know, walking outside or at the park, getting some of those outside elements. And I think that there are baking spices. There are baking spices. Cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. There is oak on this wine. We'll confirm that on the palate. On the palate, the wine is sound and clean. Sorry, it is dry. Acid is medium. Alcohol is medium plus. Body is medium. Tannins are medium-ish. I mean, I have to call. I'll say they're actually medium minus. And the texture is it's creamy. It's good. This is some fancy red wine. All right, I need to focus here. Fruits, all those same fruits, confirming them all: red and black, fresh and ripe. Cherry, black cherry, raspberry, strawberry. I'm gonna throw some pomegranate in there. There's this little tart goodness. It's not candied, but it kind of is leaning into the freshness and ripeness of the fruit. Non-fruit, I think it's a little herbal in there that was not in there in the nose. A little rosemary. I think that it's some floral components, some tobacco, a little mocha. Mineral, it's not driven by minerality, but there is minerality there. Granite, gravel, oak is there. I think that there is. I mean, you can smell it on those. I'll say that this is seen French oak, maybe a year old. I don't think it's new French oak. Wines and balance, length of finish medium plus, complexity is medium plus. Possible grape varietals, Pinot Noir, Pinot Noir. I think that because of the fruit, this is from the New World. I think it's from a moderate climate. Possible countries: U.S. And age range is 1 to 3 years. I believe that my final conclusion: this is Pinot Noir from the United States, from California, from the Sonoma Coast. Quality producer, 2020 vintage. Wine number 5. Red wine, medium plus concentration of ruby. What I didn't say on the first wine, which I will say there's no staining of the tears. Wine number 5 has some staining of the tears. There's color that is sticking to the glass as I swirled around. Tearing itself, moving faster than I thought they would, but I'm getting, no, they're not. Medium plus. No evidence of gas or sediment on the nose. The wine is sound, but there may be some evidence of balsamic vinegar or nail polish remover. There is evidence of that. So say there might be some volatile acidity, but the wine is sound. Moderate plus intensity of developing aromas. Fruits are there, but it's kind of dominated by other things. Lots of black fruits. Like there's a red fruit, there's black cherry, but this is all tart. Almost some of it is dried. Black cherry, blackberry. We get some currants, we get some cassis, we get plums. And you get some figs and dates in there. So we will throw a little bit of like pitted blue fruit in there too. Non-fruit, leather, tobacco, spices, allspice, clove, nutmeg, dried flowers, dried roses, cardamom. Earth. There's like there's old, man, wilting plants. Mineral. There's some whetstone in here, and this has seen oak on the palette. The wine is dry, or is it? The wine is dry. Acidity is medium. Alcohol is medium plus. Body is medium plus. Tannins are medium. So we talk about tannins, that velvety sort of, you get here and you get here in different parts. Medium tannin, dude. Texture's round. On the palate, all that fruit is there. And again, it's more tart and fresh, and some of it is dried. Confirming everything that I called on the nose. Some red fruits, but more black fruits, and some pitted fruits and blue fruits. I'm gonna throw some like dried cranberries in there because of the tartness. Tart, fresh, and dried. Can't do that. Let's say tart and dried fruits. Earth, freshly turned earth, potting soil, forest floor, non-fruit, leather, tobacco, like fruit bark, like dried, dried fruit leather, desiccated florals. And the oak indicators as far as baking spices are still there. Cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, allspice. I think there's oak. I think it is used barrel. The wine is in balance. Length of finish is medium plus. Complexity is medium plus. There? No. All right. I know I'm wasting time, but I have 20 seconds to do so. Initial conclusion. I'm going to say this is from the old world. That this is from Italy. Looks and smells like Italy to me. I'm going to be wrong again. I'll put the pieces together. Initial conclusion. This is from the old world. This is from possible country of origin are France and Italy. Possible grape varietals are Syrah or Corvina blend. No tin in there. Moderate climate, possible age range, 3 to 5 years. Final conclusion, this one is from Italy, from the Veneto. This is a Corvina blend, Amarone della Val Policella, quality producer, 2018 vintage. It's not correct at all. Wine number 6. This is red wine. I'm going to call this Garnet. Moderate concentration out to the rim. There might be a little bit of a later Garnet variation. Minor stating of the tiers. They're just kind of hanging on. Medium intensive, some medium tiering. On the nose. The wine is sound. Possible balsamic vinegar and nail polish remover. So there also might be possible evidence of volatile sitting on this one. Fruit, tart, dried. red and black, cherry, black cherry, currant cassis, raspberry, dried strawberry, unripe strawberry. On the nose, that's non-fruit, floral, roses, violets, dyeing, leather, tobacco, all the same things that I just called in 1.5. Fruit leather. There is minerality here. A little gunflint, gravel, possible, yeah, oak usage. We'll confirm on the palate. There are some warm to old bacon spices, cinnamon, clove, allspice on the palate. The wine is dry. Acidity is medium plus. Alcohol is medium plus. Tannins are medium plus. Body is, I'm still going to call this medium. And the texture is lean on the palate. All the fruit conditions, tart, dried, raspberry, strawberry, pomegranate, cherry, black cherry, currant, cassis, blackberry. It's not fruit driven, but the fruits are there. There's definitely secondary aromas of leather and tobacco and dried flowers and allspice and mineral. So I think that there is oak usage. I'm going to call this an old French barrel. Length of finish is medium plus. Complexity is medium plus. Tannins aren't where I would expect them to be for this. I'm going to throw some little dried vegetable like tomato and tomato leaf in both the nose and the palate, and say that for my initial conclusion, this wine is from Italy, from the old world, moderate climate, due to elevated alcohol. And I would say that this is from. Sorry, I'm in my brain. Possible countries of origin: Italy, France. Possible grapes: Sangiovese, and a Grenache blend. The age range 3 to 5 years. Final conclusion: this is from Italy. This is from Tuscany. The grape is Sangiovese. This is Chianti Classico, 2019 vintage from a quality producer. I have 40 seconds left. I don't have enough time to change my call. I flipped these. I've made my call. It's official. My time is up. Done. My self assessment, I will say Chenin Blanc, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir. And then I'm just going to stick with Amarone and Chianti Classico. And that's how we do it. You just do it. And then you second guess yourself and you don't beat yourself up. This was a fun flight. My conditions for tasting weren't great, but it was fun. We got them done in time with time to spare. So I was able to at least go back and maybe reassess. But yeah, it's blind tasting at not the highest level, but definitely an elevated level where 3 white wines, 3 red wines, 28 minutes. There you go. All right, so I'm going to probably go have a beer, and then I will post this. So, you know, if you have any friends that would find this productive, that's cool. And cheers to you. You're great. And we'll do this again sometime. All right. Peace. Be well. Talk to you soon. Bye.